Monday morning, and Oswald was in a bad mood. Even his mom's pancakes didn't help. In the car, Dad turned up the radio too loud. It was some stupid song about a tractor. Oswald reached for the knob and turned it down.
Hey dude, driver picks the music. You know that.
Dad said. He turned the awful song back up even louder.
It's bad music,
Oswald said.
I'm trying to save you from yourself.
Well, I don't like those video game songs you listen to,
Dad said.
but I don't just barge into your room and turn them off.
Yeah,
Oswald said.
but I don't force you to listen to them either.
Dad turned the radio down.
What's with the attitude, son? Whatever's bothering you, it's not just that I like country music.
Oswald didn't feel like talking, but clearly he was being forced to. And once he opened his mouth, he was surprised to feel complaints erupting from him like lava from a volcano.
I'm tired of every day being exactly the same. Ben texted me yesterday. He's at Myrtle Beach, having an awesome time. He wanted to know what I was doing, and I told him I was going to the library and Jeff's Pizza every day. And you know what he texted back? I'm sorry, and that place is creepy.
Dad sighed.
I'm sorry we can't go on vacation and have an awesome time, Oz. Things are hard right now where money's concerned. I'm sorry it affects you. You're a kid. You shouldn't have to worry about money. I'm hoping they'll move me to full-time at the store in the fall. That'll help a lot, and if I get promoted to the deli manager, it'll be another $1.50 an hour.
Oswald knew he shouldn't say what he was about to say, but here he went anyway.
Ben's dad got a job that pays even better than this old job at the mill.
Dad tightened his grip on the steering wheel.
Yeah, well, Ben's dad didn't have to move 500 miles away to get that job.
His voice sounded tight as his grip on the wheel, and Oswald could tell his jaw was clenched.
Your mom and I talked a lot about it, but we decided not to move, especially with your grandma living here and needing help sometimes. This is our home, kiddo, and things aren't perfect, but we just have to make the best of them.
Oswald felt himself crossing the line from grumbling into grounding territory. But why did some people get the best of everything and others had to settle for free library visits and cheap pizza?
And so every day, you toss me out on the street like garbage. If this is the best of things, I'd hate to see the worst.
Now, son, don't you think that's a little dramatic?
Oswald didn't stick around to hear the rest of Dad's criticism. He got out of the car and slammed the door. His dad sped away, probably glad to be rid of him. Just as predicted, the library didn't have the book he wanted. He flipped through a few magazines, the kind with exotic jungle animals, which he usually liked, but they weren't doing much for him today. When his turn came for the computer, he put in his earbuds and watched some YouTube videos, but he wasn't in a good enough mood to laugh. At lunchtime, he sat at Jeff's Pizza with his slice and soda, every day a cheese slice. If his dad wasn't so stingy, he'd give him another $1 so he could have pepperoni or sausage. But no, it had to be the cheapest pizza you could get. Sure, money was tight, but really, was another $1 a day really going to break the bank? Looking around at the place, Oswald decided Ben was right. Jeff's Pizza was creepy. There was those shadowy painted-over figures on the walls, the dusty abandoned ball pit, and he thought about it. Jeff was kind of creepy, too. He looked 100 years old, but he was probably just 30. With those heavy-lidded bloodshot eyes, the stained apron, and the slow speech and movement, he was like a zombie pizza chef. Oswald thought about the argument with his dad that morning. Soon Dad would be texting him, expecting him to come outside to the car. Well, today was going to be different. Today, Dad would have to come in and find him. There was one perfect place to hide. Oswald was going into the pit. The pit was pretty gross, really, obviously untouched for years. The plastic spheres were covered in gray fuzzy dust, but hiding in there would be a great prank on his dad. His dad, who was always dropping him off and picking him up like somebody's dry cleaning, would actually have to get out of the car and make an effort for a change. Oswald wouldn't make it easy for him either. Oswald took off his shoes. Yes, the ball pit was disgusting, but at least getting into it would make today different from all the other days that had come before it. He climbed into the pit and felt the balls parting to make room for his body. He moved his arms and legs. It was a little like swimming, if you could swim in dry plastic spheres. He found his footing at the bottom of the pit. Some of the balls were strangely sticky, but he tried not to think about why. If he was going to trick his dad, he was going to have to go all the way under. He took a deep breath as if about to jump into a swimming pool and fell to his knees. That put him up to his neck. Wiggling around so he was sitting on the pit's floor put his head under, too. The balls spread far enough apart that he could breathe, but it was dark and made him feel claustrophobic. The place stank of dust and mildew. "Pink eye," he could hear his mother's voice saying. "You're going to get pink eye." The smell was really getting to him. The dust tickled his nose. He felt a sneeze coming on, but he couldn't move his hand through the spheres fast enough to reach his nose and muffle it. He sneezed 3 times, each one louder than the one before. Oswald didn't know if his dad was looking for him yet, but if he was, the sneezing ball pit had probably given away his location. Besides, it was too dark and too gross in there. He had to come up for air. As he rose, his ears were assaulted by the sound of beeping electronics and yelling and laughing kids. It took a few seconds for his eyes to adjust from the darkness of the pit to the brightness that now surrounded him, the flashing lights and vivid colors. He looked around and muttered,
Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
The walls were lined in shiny arcade cabinets housing games he'd heard his dad talk about from his own childhood. Ms. Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Frogger, Q*bert, Galaga. A neon light claw machine displayed plush blue elf-like creatures and orange cartoon cats. He looked down at the pit and realized he was surrounded by little kids wallowing in the strangely clean and now brightly colored plastic orbs. He stood over the preschoolers like a giant. He stepped out of the pit to find his shoes, but they were gone. Standing on the colorful carpet in his sock feet, he looked around. There were lots of kids his age and younger, but there was something different about them. Everyone's hair was styled and fluffy. The boys wore polo shirts in colors lots of guys wouldn't be caught dead in, like pink or aqua. The girls' hair was unbelievably big, with bangs that stood out from their forehead like claws. They wore pastel-colored tops that matched their pastel-colored shoes. The colors, the lights, the sounds, it was sensory overload. What was that music? Across the room, on a small stage, a trio of animatronic animals blinked their big blank eyes, opened and closed their mouths, and pivoted back and forth in sync with a jangly, annoying song. There was a brown bear, a blue rabbit with a red bow tie, and some kind of bird girl. They reminded Oswald of the mechanical animals he had caught himself drawing lately. The difference was, he could never decide if the animals in his drawings were cute or creepy. These were creepy. Strangely, though, the dozen or so little kids surrounding the stage didn't seem to think so. They were wearing birthday party hats with pictures of characters on them, and dancing and laughing and having a great time. When the smell of pizza hit Oswald's nose, he understood. He was still on Jeff's Pizza, or more accurately, what Jeff's Pizza had been before Jeff took over. The ball pit was new and not roped off. All the outlets on the wall had arcade games plugged into them, and he turned around to face the left wall. In the shapes and the shadows on the wall of Jeff's Pizza was a mural of the same characters performing on the stage. The brown bear, the blue rabbit, and the bird girl. Below their faces were words, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Oswald's insides turned to ice water. How had this happened? He knew where he was, but he didn't know when it was or how he got there.